I got major Daenerys vibes from this episode. Hello there, my name is Muzz and welcome to Game and Gain. We are talking about Last of Us episode number 5 of season 2. If you've been following so far, you know it's been quite mixed. If you want to find out why, go back and watch those videos because I'm not going to talk about them again. I don't really want to talk about it. I'll give an overall opinion on the season, but I kind of want to just focus on it episode by episode now. This, like episode 4, I actually enjoyed, and I feel like I should have enjoyed this one similar to the last one, but I don't know. There's clearly quite a big moment. Spoilers on screen. That we're going to get to, that I'm going to talk about. So let's just kind of take it episode by episode. Not episode, but scene by scene. Or not scene by scene, but kind of chunk. So, kind of opens up. The WLF are in the hospital. They're talking about blocking it up. And we're reintroducing spores to The Last of Us, which was obviously a big part in the game. You'd have to go through parts of the game where you'd be in a gas mask, and it would be that would make it harder to see. It was obviously used to infect more people, and they introduce it in a good way here in terms of this is a very dense area, and we'll get on to see it, but the very dense area where you can understand why they are using spores in this area. So the kind of person who was down there, she's been held for treason because she killed some of her people, but by the end of it, the person who's interviewing is like, actually, you're probably a hero, you probably saved us. Good foreshadowing, good setup, because we know, if you play the games, we know what we're going into. So we come back to Dina and Ellie, and they're trying to figure out where the kind of WLF are. They're using triangulation. They're making jokes, and yeah, the relationship is good. I'm enjoying it, but the tone, the juxtaposition we get from the start of the episode to the end of the episode is pretty very different. So they're joking, they're laughing. They end up going out, and yeah, there is actually a good scene where they discuss Dina being pregnant, and you're like, yeah, Dina should not be here, like she is pregnant, but Dina gives a really good back. Dina is my favourite. I think she is really coming across, the actor. I like she's been given more depth in the show, so she's definitely a plus point in the show. She talks about how she can relate to Ellie, and that justifies her coming along and risking her unborn child. I mean, I would still be like, no, stay at home, but they at least are trying to give her a good enough reason, a strong enough reason for her to come, and I think it does it well. And again, the actress who's playing Dina is like, she's hitting on, like, she's funny, she can do serious, she does like emotional really well. So I'm very impressed with her. So they end up kind of finding the WLF. They go to the factory. They sneak in, and I've got to say that the infected scenes, this another plus. The infected scenes this season are hitting. They are really hitting for me. The stalkers are in this one, and they're creepy. Like, they are creepier than when they are in the game. Usually they just run and hide, but you're seeing the infected get a bit smarter because they're like, oh, they've hidden, but then they go back out because they're like, oh, I knew you were going to move, and it's just adding to, I think, the severity of the infection, the fact that they are developing new types, and it's making them really, I think, dangerous. Not that anyone dies here. So Ellie and Dina end up getting cornered by quite a few, and who's there to save them but Jesse, who hopefully is going to get kind of more fleshed out as the story. He's pissed, and rightfully so. So Tommy did come with them. That's one of the changes I didn't like from the early episode. Tommy went on his own and then Ellie followed. So Tommy is off on his own somewhere in the city. We know that, and hopefully we will kind of get back to meeting him. So then, obviously, the gunshots are going to attract guards, which they do. They then enter a park where we see the Seraphites, the Scars, and they do a brutal execution on a guy, and it is not fair play to HBO. They do not cut away from what is going on. The guy gets hoisted up with a sickle in his gut, and his intestines just absolutely fall out. It is gory, it's gruesome, and it makes sense in the world of The Last of Us. So I actually appreciate that. Like, I love that they're kind of like, there's so much about this TV show that I am liking in similar way to the game, where it's not a fun world. It's a interesting world to be in. It's a brutal world, but that's what I think makes it, like, you see the very worst of humanity, and you see how these different cults are formed, and they're doing a really good job with that aspect of the show. Ultimately, they get found out. They get caught in. I think this bit could have been broken up. I think this is why, maybe, because you go into one action scene, into another action scene, and then we'll get to the kind of final action scene. So Dina gets shot with an arrow. Jesse is like, I need to get out of here. So he carries her off, and Ellie goes to distract. She's distracted the infected. She's now distracting the Seraphites. The Seraphite whistles are going off, and ultimately they're using stealth mechanics from the game. Ellie's hiding in the tall grass, and they don't find her. So, yeah, Ellie's off on her own. She ends up going, but does she go back to the hospital? I think she sees something, I can't quite remember, that tells her to go this way, and she ends up at the hostel where she makes, is it Nina? The kind of nurse, the one that put, oh god, Dina under. I almost forgot my favourite aspect of the show's name. So then we get the confrontation, and my biggest gripe with the episode is Ellie's turn. We see Ellie give in to her dark side, become more like Joel, brutal, like just losing it. And I've got to say, the face that Bella Ramsey does, like, she looks like, whoa, I am not wanting to mess with her. So fair play to that. As I said at the start, it is giving me Daenerys vibes, where it is happening too quick. The turn is happening far too quick. We've went from, I'm going to be a dad in the last episode, which is cringy, jokey. Even at the start of the episode, she's still joking about, and I'm not saying, like, you can't have characters who can do that. Like, Joel had a bit of that in him as well, but he was still, there was still a emptiness behind him. There was an emptiness behind Joel in the way that he had done so many horrendous things that he was just glazed to the world, like he was just numb to it almost, despite trying to kind of be a warmer figure. And it just doesn't come across that well. It just, I feel like they're rushing the season. I feel like they could have done this so much better if they had stayed in Seattle for this, stayed in Jacksonville for the season, had the character building, they're trying to repair the relationship, and then the Jacksonville attack and Abby killing Joel. Season 3, you get to Seattle pretty quickly, and then it's the build, it's the violence she's been not indoctrinated, and she's been immersed in the violence of that world, the rage against, the anger that she's maybe not finding them, and then again that final episode could be the turn. Ellie's lost it. She's given in to her urges and is beating Nina senseless to get information out of her. So, yeah, Ultimately, I believe I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, they're going to have the Rat King monster. I can't remember if that's what it's called, but the big infected, the like ground zero infected. So I am looking forward to that. I mean, I don't know, imagine how they could do it practically, but if they do it, CGI, the CGI has been good in this, so it's been not that noticeable. So hopefully they can do it well. But yeah, that is my thoughts. I think that the turn is the main reason why I don't like this episode. It's just too rushed. It's not earned it. And there's not been like little moments where Ellie's. I guess maybe she's always had it in her, but I would quite like to see, like, I don't know, maybe a guard gets on top of Dina, and Ellie just starts, or maybe Jesse arrives and like smothers Dina, and Ellie doesn't know, and like just starts beating the crap out of him for a bit, and then she realizes it's Jesse, and like, oh, sorry, and they're like, what was that? Again, foreshadowing to the turn, like she's got it in her. But again, that's just my opinion. If you would like to share with me your opinion, then share it down below. That would be a great help. And oh, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, just talk to me. Did you like it? What do you think about my suggestions? Like, I think they're good, but you might not, and that's fair enough. And with all that being said, all that's left to say is any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks. I went earlier there. General hostile remarks. Leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.